Hello, and welcome to Gwellentia Gathers, Episode 2, where me and my friends talk about things that interest us, as well as our long-running campaign of Dungeons & Dragons. My name is Chris, or Alvesie, depending on where you know me from.
I'm Nick.
I'm Graden.
I'm Taylor.
I'm Adam.
I'm Jake.
I'm Cubby. And again, I'm Cubby.
We have continued with the double billing joke, and guys, speaking of double, we're in episode number 2. We did it. We're making a second episode of this. It
So
may
Nick
have
died in it, right?
Yes.
Yeah, Nick dies in
He's
this one.
to die in this
Thanks for the
episode.
spoilers.
Oh
I'm
well,
just saying.
it had to
That's too
happen.
bad.
Can this be the two-end episode?
The 2-end episode?
Yeah, 2 in.
Doing.
This is the one where Nick dies.
I'm tempted to name it the one where Nick dies. But then that would be Nick in 2 episode titles in a row.
Yeah.
That's perfectly
Do it.
fine.
We could just keep making jokes about Nick for every episode.
It's
No,
fine
the
with me.
Nick- The Nick saga, it's just 2 episodes.
Von Dorsal killed Billy.
How are you guys doing on this stupidly hot Tuesday? The heat wave, it's coming in strong. It's starting off with killing us this Tuesday. How are you guys holding up?
Sweaty. I don't have work tomorrow, so I'm doing pretty good.
Not too
I
shabby.
have, I have air conditioning.
We do too, but it's loud.
Yeah, so we have to turn that off real quick.
Yeah, I had to turn my fan off, and my air conditioning is not pumping into my room, so that's neat.
I turned it off because my feet were cold.
Well, thanks.
So happy for you.
He controls the AC in my room.
I control the entire back of the house by going out to the front of the house and changing the thermostat.
Yes.
My feet are right above the vent here, so they feel the brunt of it.
Right.
Nicholas, you are the most thermal, indecisive person I have ever met.
I don't want my toes to freeze off.
No, he's pretty consistent. It's just always sweaty. Doesn't matter if he's hot or cold. It's sweaty.
That's true.
I feel that.
Yeah. So we are a bunch of sweaty nerds. I don't sweat.
At least I try to smell good. It's the effort that counts, right?
Yeah.
We break the mold. We don't need to, fit all the
Very
stereotypes.
wholeheartedly.
And
I'm not
sometimes if
growing
you're
any
like
mold.
ugly, you just mold. That was uncalled for. Dude, your hat literally grew fungus.
This is true.
I burnt that one though, and then I kept wearing it, so it was fine.
You probably kept wearing it because the
Fungus protected it.
This isn't an exaggeration.
No.
at all.
No.
Oh boy.
It's probably unhealthy to burn mold.
It's fine.
Yeah. Hey, Adam. How are you?
pretty good. Hot,
That's understandable.
but
Yes, you are, buddy.
Whoa.
Damn it, Cubby.
This has been your weekly Adam update. Thank you, Adam.
you're welcome.
Adam is still, in fact, alive.
Yep.
Yep.
He's still here. He's still here from last
Indeed
time.
is.
But yeah. So it's been hot. It's been a weird week. Anybody else's week been weird so far? Mine has been very, very weird because I've been
I
working
feel
on
like
it.
it should be Friday.
Yeah,
I
honestly,
feel like I'm gonna be unemployed.
me
That's not
too.
good.
Nice, dude. High five.
Yeah. I've been trying to fill out job applications for the past week
I
because
haven't.
I discovered that through a very cool twist of fate, I cannot get paid any more than I'm currently making at my job. And I've never received a pay raise there. So that's really neat.
Chris, if it makes you feel any better, I've worked.
Quack.
Sorry.
We can
The
name
yellow-
drop.
Quack.
We can.
No, I was gonna say the yellow spark. Okay.
Okay.
They'll fire you.
Yeah, I'll get fired if I say.
Quack.
Oh, gotcha. My
So. Yeah.
I'll cut that out then, because
A
I
large retail gargantuan.
also
Um,
am contractually obligated not to mention the name of my work. I'm pretty sure. So that's cool.
You are.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're not allowed to talk about it.
And if you slander it at all on any social media, you can actually get legal backlash.
We could actually get fired if we wrote anything about like anything that went on at the beautiful place that I worked at.
Yeah.
Work at.
I will edit.
That's a bit odd.
I will edit the names of everything out. We are not trying to slander anybody. We're not trying to backtalk anybody. It is just, you know, the unfortunate situation of contracts and contractual working and stuff.
I
But
think it's time to take Jeff Bezos down
Well, he has nothing to do with this.
Come on, Jeff.
from the
Yeah,
stars.
it's like the one big company that none of us are associated with.
last episode, we declared war on Italy. This episode, we're declaring war on Amazon. So we're burning bridges real fast.
Yeah.
Don't do that. I just ordered a jacket.
Well,
Just saying that Cubby's kicked out.
we've got you've got 2 days before this episode goes up, if I can edit this in time. So you got time to enjoy your jacket to get it here. But yeah, I've been filling out applications, and you know, it's interesting because I've discovered one key thing with all the applications I've been filling out, and that's that referrals, like references, is like the dumbest thing ever.
Yep.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's like, what? So the one I was filling out the other day asked for references that were not any of your former supervisors at any work, or any family, or anyone else that you basically worked with. It was only, so I don't know who you were supposed to get references from, but it's like,
Teacher.
what's the point? What is the
I
point
mean,
of references?
The only thing that I could think of is like friends that you don't work with, or like I like to put down family members that don't have my last name.
Yeah.
I use that a lot.
That's a good
because
trick.
No one in my family has the same last name as
You
me.
used me as
Yeah.
a reference.
Yes, I did.
Yeah. He used me as an employer reference.
Oh, God.
But like, I was filling one out this morning, and it's like, name 3 people, their addresses, their phone numbers, and where they currently work. It's like, okay,
Wow.
some of that is understandable, but why do you need the addresses of my
I didn't
referrals?
ask for the fax machine numbers.
Yeah.
My pager number is
Yeah.
da-da-da.
They're for 401k account numbers.
Yeah, their social
Their
security
social
number.
security,
Yeah.
their maiden name. Sorry,
The street
mother's
they
maiden
grew
name.
up on.
Card number, 3 numbers on the back.
But it was like, filling that out, just the referrals alone is just a
Chapman.
nightmare.
My mother's never been married.
Yeah, filling those out has been interesting. That's to say the least. Also, apparently there's a whole lot of nursing jobs and not a whole lot of anything else.
I
Which is
had a
weird.
lady offer me work in residential health care
Mhm.
while I was performing my job.
There's just job postings for it everywhere. It's insane.
Yeah, she was like, "Hey, if you're ever sick of working here, you can come to where I work and I do the hiring. I can just hire you to do residential healthcare." And I was like, "What? Out of all places, like this is where you look for your employees?"
That's quite a place to
So
screen
weird.
employees.
See, I was actually gonna be a nurse. And then I realized I don't like people.
You know, not liking people liking people seems like it's kind of an important part of being a nurse, or anything
Yeah,
along
that's
those
why-
lines.
That's why I'm gonna be an electrician instead.
The trick is pretending you like people.
See,
Nah.
I do that all day, and I don't want to do that all day for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
It's too hard.
Yeah, that's what I do.
I just pretend that I'm ignorant of everyone, and that well, that's my big problem in high school, is that I never talk to people. So now people think I hate them.
Yeah, I mean, but once you get to know him, you actually learn to hate him. So
Yeah.
Nick,
Nick.
Oh,
once you get to know him, you can actually hate him. Like you can,
Yeah.
it's like coffee. It's in a like an acquired taste, and you
love-
always hate it.
I love coffee.
Speaking of
Don't lie to
hating
yourself.
things,
I
look how
love
I drew Gene.
It's pretty good, dude. Although I think there was exactly like 2 sessions where I had 2 swords.
I also love that Nick is pointing out what pictures look like in an audio format podcast. That's very helpful, Nick.
Hey, if they go to the YouTube one, then there will be pictures.
It's true.
That's the whole point of what I've been doing this past week.
Yes, Nick has spent a few days working on the quote-unquote animation of last episode, to the point where the first episode will finally go up on YouTube about a day after this episode goes up on everything else, which is great news.
Honestly, Nick, that's not bad.
My favorite is Cara.
Mine too.
Well, yeah, obviously.
Gee, what a surprise.
Look at him.
My
His
favorite
teeth.
is Bart. Wait, no, who's the bonk guy?
It's Gib. This is the Gale Peak original group.
Oh, it's Mittens.
Also Kalzun.
Honestly, Mittens is pretty good.
Yeah. Ark and Billy aren't here, but every other character is.
Do you know Philary isn't red, right?
No. I didn't ask anyone for descriptions of the characters. I did what I imagined this.
So,
Also, gray
that
would
ex-
on a white background.
does that explain why Lee looks like a horse?
Yes.
It looks like a Anubis, but like in a bad way.
Yeah.
Like Anubis.
Quack.
Brother.
Like the
Can't include that
Anubis
word.
is signed on.
It's just like a bird with ears.
No, it's a narwhal.
No.
Yeah.
Dude, it looks like a narwhal that you punched so hard his horn like went to the back of his head. Why didn't you use my drawing of Billy?
Yeah.
Couldn't just use that. There's a ball sack in that picture.
Crop it out.
Also, it's kind of low
Why
quality
don't you
because
stop?
it's a picture on my phone of something on my TV,
We need
so
to
it doesn't
correct
work
the
too well.
topic.
No, this is a great topic.
They can't see anything that we're talking about.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Video format, Will. We can describe the pictures too.
They
Hey.
can't hear the voices in our heads either, but that's okay.
Listen, if you want to see the pictures, go to the YouTube. It's on the YouTube.
Yes.
This raid will be up the week after the audio version goes up,
Unless
Yeah.
Nick
unless I
slides.
go faster.
Yeah, we don't need to talk about the pictures any further aside from if you want to check them out, go to YouTube and go to Alvesie Sprocket. That is ALVESIE_SPROCKET and check out the video form of the podcast, which will exist eventually.
Maybe.
Probably
But-
by the time anybody watches this.
Theoretically,
mean-
by the time this goes up, the video form of the first episode will be up.
And to be fair, I mean, you say that, Cubby, we actually have like a surprising number of people listening to episode 1 already. I want to give a big shout out and a thank you to everybody who's checked this out so far. As
on.
of yeah.
How many of those are us?
Yeah, that's what I was about to say.
So
Like,
here-
how many?
Here's the thing. We have, according to the metrics, 14 unique viewers. Now, at least 7 of those are us, but that means there's like 5 or 6 that aren't us.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that is
That's-
pretty cool.
Also unsettling.
And it will continue to grow once we're on Apple Podcasts someday. But we're not going to get into that because talk about starting wars. That is
I
utterly
like
dumb.
apples.
Apples are they're like an
What's your
A
favorite
tier
kind?
fruit.
I like Granny Smith apples.
Granny Smith's like a high A tier.
Macintosh are good.
Cortland's are better than Macintosh, though.
Agreed. Red Delicious are overrated.
Yes.
No, I love galas. Gala apples,
Ooh,
so good.
Pink Lady.
Yeah.
Those are good too.
So who made the card I'm currently looking at?
Crab
I
apples
made
are
all
also
of
good.
these.
What, Nick?
I made all of these.
Okay.
so
Can you explain to me the function of this card?
it's a magenta card. Remember, it's all the good stuff. You throw it away, and then you just have the crap left over.
It's
A
Ranger.
This this literally looks like. So it's
Cool
meant
Ranger.
to be bad, right?
Well, yeah. It's
Okay,
an
good.
instant die card.
We
I
don't
mean, no. I mean, yes. I see what you did there.
we shouldn't return to the discussion of cards from last time because that's just the same discussion again.
Right.
That being said, my friends know why I'm slightly upset, but I'm slightly upset with that set and my luck. But we'll continue past that. I can wallow about that later.
So what's the plan?
What are we talking about?
Great question.
Bitcoin.
Nope. That was last session. That was the last episode.
We're not allowed to bring up anything from last episode, even though we've spent the past 20 minutes discussing things from last episode. But that's fine.
It's all good.
Yeah.
All good in the neighborhood. We could go back to the job interview stuff. Like
Eh.
funny interview stories.
Like what? Cubby, 3 people. No, sorry. 4 people have jobs? 5 people?
Not me.
Not me.
Good job, Nick. I mean, Adam makes sense.
Adam's in high school.
Adam is young. Nick is
Your age.
a loser.
Yes, correct.
Wow.
I also don't have a
I mean, he's also
car, so
college.
that too.
I have gone through 2 jobs, and I started working this year.
I've gone through 4 jobs, and while
Right.
I have stories
New
about
record.
You still could probably sue because of that old job.
Oh, probably. I can't. He can, though.
You can?
Yeah, he was the one who was fired for it.
Oh, you weren't?
No, I was fired because he was my ride, and I couldn't get there anymore. He was fired because he got COVID.
Oh.
Sorry, he was fired because he had missed days after coming back from his COVID leave.
Spicy information here.
Yeah, I won't name a company. Because if I did, no one would know what it is. But it was not my facility. My facility had like 99% cool people in it. It was the mean one. So
That, and I think it would be kind of important to not go when you have COVID, because you guys.
look what you fucking done. Edit that out.
I will edit that out. I'm
No
striking it from the
information.
podcast.
We are in Maine,
Stop.
and there is like one company here who makes that product.
There is one company that makes that product.
Yeah, and it's specific to Maine.
Yeah.
Literally, you could just type in Maine
Quack.
Well,
and it would pop up.
I'll have to edit that out. Here's a good discussion. Yeah, do we continue using the scientist stop from Half-Life 1?
Stop!
Or do we have a different
Yeah.
sound effect we want to use for our stop noise?
Ooh, I think we should mix it up.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
we'll
think it
mix
would be
that.
fun to do different sound effects. What's your favorite sound effect that's used in unconventional censorship? Because like you got the classic bleep, but then like, because I was doing this recently, I was setting up what's it called, alerts for streaming stuff, and there are just so many fun sound effects that I have access to now that
I
it's-
like duck quacks.
Did you find the potato one?
the potato one. I have
I can't even remember what it's from. All I remember is there was something I was listening to a while ago, and every time they cussed, instead of cussing, it was just potato.
But then we're stealing from somebody else.
Yeah.
Why can't we be original?
I like the duck quacks, dude. Ducks are cool.
duck quacks are pretty good.
No. Not
But-
actual duck quacks. Quack. Just like a really Cubby
Yeah.
stop, please.
Good at that.
I'm listening, but this better be about pancakes.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that sounds good.
Just anytime
I love
we need to edit it. Coaches,
Why do
coaches.
I feel like-
Sorry, we can talk about Left 4 Dead for a little bit because
Ooh.
Left 4 Dead is
I
a
think
fun
there's like
topic.
3 people here who know what Left 4 Dead is, but I'm down.
Hey, you should just
that's
turn
true.
that into pancakes instead of the rest of it.
No.
I-
That'd be shorter.
Pancakes.
I see what you're saying, maybe. But do the
Oh,
rest of you know what Left 4 Dead is? Or
I do.
yeah,
I do.
No.
I know what Left 4 Dead 2 is.
Left 4
It's
Dead
an
is pretty much the same.
I do not. I think I've watched one video of somebody playing it, and like that's it.
we need to play Left 4 Dead. We need to play Left 4 Dead after this.
I agree.
That would be super
I have
duper
it on
fun.
Steam.
I do too.
Yeah. I have it on Steam, but the problem is you can only have one person per Steam account,
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
which is annoying because split screen is a thing.
Yeah.
You
Anyways.
need to buy it on yours.
How much is it?
Actually,
Not
dirt
much.
cheap. But then again, the only computer we could run it on is her laptop, and it would actually it'd probably be fine because
No, I still have Sims downloaded on my phone.
Left 4 Dead 2 is older than dirt.
Why can't it run on your computer?
Dude, Sims crashes on my computer. You know what crashed on my computer? Stardew. Okay.
Does
Oof.
it have a dedicated graphics card?
No,
Oh.
Integrated.
Why are you even trying?
because I just
Can I play it on my laptop?
I was like,
Honestly,
hey,
probably.
Sims is cool.
Should I go download it?
No,
I'm not.
because you'd have to make a Steam account and also
I
buy it.
have a Steam account.
You would have to buy it, and also we're doing a recording, and it takes the internet.
We could use that.
Maybe next episode.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Yes.
I don't think we can use a cuss for
so
certain
they're
cusses.
making a new Left 4 Dead, right?
No, that would
No.
be the third one. That's impossible.
Valve can't count to 3.
Everyone's
You'd
made
think
that
you'd
joke.
learn after
Wait.
2.
They did.
Well, then what's no? I don't know.
Back for Blood. It's technically different, but it's extremely similar, and people like it because it is extremely similar, and that's enough for them.
What's it called?
Back for
Back
Blood.
4 Blood. Huh. Interesting.
It's almost like they got that idea
Mm.
from somewhere.
Yeah.
Mm.
You can. It's on Steam, so you can pre-order it, and then you can get like a access to the beta. So
Nick,
like people are already playing it and stuff.
don't give them free promotions. God
Why
damn.
not? They're
Promote
cool.
stuff you
Just
like.
make Left 4 Dead. It's pretty much Left 4 Dead 3 because it's the people that made Left 4 Dead, but it's not called Left 4 Dead. It's those the 4.
Yeah.
Chris can cut whatever he wants from this.
None of it. Except for things that I absolutely have to cut because of corporate reasons, I'm keeping all of it. It can all be a terrible discussion that half the audience won't care about. Because half the audience is us, and half of us don't understand what's going on.
Actually, I was thinking about that. How many unique viewers is it?
14.
14. So, Cubby, Jake, Nick, Chris, Adam,
DJ.
DJ.
Yeah, DJ's number 8. If all 7 of us listen to it.
Me and
Dylan.
Taylor have not.
You have not
Or,
listened
sorry,
to it.
Oh.
Taylor, I have not.
Yeah, I logged onto it once and that was
Traitor.
it.
I'm the only one who has not listened to it.
Traders.
Which must be unique.
No, the sound of my voice makes me want to eat buckshot.
Breathing does that for me.
So that means
What?
we have 7 viewers out there, and we just lost them all on episode 2.
Yep.
Perfect.
Oh boy.
You're welcome.
Anyways, back to Left 4 Dead 2.
There's nothing else
What
to
kind
talk
of game is
about.
It's a zombie game.
I have a fun fact that you may or may not know.
Ooh.
Ooh, share.
That headshots do not matter on witches and tanks.
Ah.
There's no headshot multiplier.
So, but do headshots count if you only use melee weapons like I do?
Same.
If you're using a melee weapon on a tank, then you win just for style points alone, because
Listen,
That's a
man, I
choice.
don't fear death,
I do.
and I don't fear taking my team down with me.
I do because of one of my favorite Left 4 Dead stories. I remember it was like,
Does this have to do with a jockey or
Nope.
a hunter?
no, this was Left 4 Dead 1. Mercy Hospital. The first mission, the very last chapter of that mission. You're on the rooftop of the hospital. You're holding out. It's the first time that you have to experience this for a lot of new players, so it's like, you're trying to figure out how in the world you survive against that many zombies at once. My friends, who I'm playing with this on an Xbox 360, so Xbox 360 graphics, split screen, the 3 of them had never played before, and so we're running around like headless chickens. I love Left 4 Dead. So I was basically soloing the entirety of the final act. That was until I asked them, hey, Has anyone seen the tank? I immediately turned around, saw the tank, and it threw me off of the rooftop, instantly killing me. And that was the end of the game.
It's always good.
I don't get it.
If you get thrown off the roof, you die.
Yeah.
Has anyone seen the tank?
Is the tank not an actual tank?
No, it's a
No.
big zombie that's like really, really hard to kill.
Bullet sponge.
And it also will murder you in like one hit.
That too.
So it's Cara, just minus the murder you in one hit.
Kind
Uh,
of.
I mean, just as stupid.
You know Larry? Do you know Larry the Lobster from SpongeBob?
No, you have.
Yeah, Larry the Law. That's a good analogy.
I don't think Cubby's seen that though.
I haven't.
You don't know who Larry the
I don't
Lobster
watch
is?
SpongeBob.
But you've never seen Larry the Lobster before.
No, I don't watch SpongeBob.
Hmm.
I
Well-
have not watched SpongeBob.
Well, this is also a
Hold
problem.
on.
Give me a second.
Yeah, we're gonna make so many references, and Cubby's just gonna be like, no, no, no.
Adam, do you understand these references?
That.
Yes. Yes, I do.
That's just big man from Watchmen.
I don't know what that means, but sure.
Big man from Watchmen.
That's a
Okay,
whole
you show him
thought.
Larry the Lobster from SpongeBob.
Oh my god.
Yeah, he's gonna be clueless with all
Larry
these
King.
references, and then for some reason, Berserk is gonna be referenced, and he's gonna be like, I know this.
I know that one.
Yeah, now that we've talked about all these things for multiple minutes, let's give Cubby the floor for like 2 minutes just to talk about whatever he wants to talk about, whatever interests him.
Ooh,
But in the meantime,
fun.
how do I take a screenshot again on Windows? Anybody know?
You go
Hello?
into the bar and you go search up snipping tool, and then you click new,
hey.
and then you highlight the area.
Thank you. Continue,
Got it.
Cubby.
Why am I given the floor?
Because we talked about something that we know about, and now you get to talk about something that you know about.
This is a terrible
Blueberries.
idea.
I can always
No,
edit it
no,
out if it's
everyone-
terrible.
Everyone knows about blueberries. Trying to think of
In
something
fact,
I
you
know
even
about.
like them.
Not a lot of people know about.
You realize you're literally a black belt in Kung Fu, right?
Yes, but I don't think teaching people how to murder each other online is a great idea.
Oh no, you just do that in person, right?
Yes.
Yes.
It's a bit ironic.
Well, in person I know them. So I know that if they do anything, they know that I can just kill them as well.
You do realize the internet also has like information and
Yes.
instructions on how to make bombs.
You know, yeah, like
Well,
bombs.
that's not that hard.
Melt down bodies.
Don't
Bombs,
say that.
lamp oil,
I-
rope.
I'm stating a fact. I'm not giving URLs.
Who said what?
I said,
What?
Cubby, don't talk about making bombs.
That was Graden.
That was me. I'll take
And
credit
me.
for that one.
It's not that hard to do, but still.
Now that Cubby's
So
had
beaky.
his Cubby minute.
It could be the Cubby corner. We just have
Sorry,
like a 2-minute
continue.
section.
He was actually getting onto something, wasn't he? And then I cut him off.
Yeah,
he's
Yeah.
he's like
so
so
beekeeping.
beekeeping.
So beekeeping. You know bees, the different types. Bumblebees and honeybees. Bumblebees will fly in the rain, which is why they're used for pollination, whereas honeybees will actually pollinate less frequently and are also more picky on the weather, which is why you'll often see different orchards having a selection of honey and bumblebees at the same time.
That's interesting to know
Keep
about.
going. I'm interested.
That's the fact I wanted to share.
Oh,
There we go. There's your beekeeping with Cubby section.
Did you know that by all laws of aerodynamics, bees should not be able to fly?
I do, and it's great.
Did you know that's the start of the bee movie?
Yep. Hey, Chris,
Mm-hmm.
do you know why I did a beekeeping fact?
Go right ahead and tell me.
Because Cara can make infinite honey now.
This is true. And something we're not going to cover in this podcast, nor are we going to cover for a little while.
Yep.
But that's fine. What's the worst? Because getting stung by bees and stuff is one of those things that, in my opinion at least, kind of sticks in your mind, because sometimes it hurts. What's the worst time you've been stung? Everybody.
Should we go down the intro list?
Sure. That means I start. The other day I got stung because I was just having a drink and I had my arms folded slightly over and I decided to arch my hand like a moron. When I closed my fist, I closed it around a yellow jacket, so it stung my knuckle. That kind of hurt. But the worst time I got stung was I was walking in the forest and I stepped into a nest of mud hornets.
Brown horns.
That was not fun.
Mm.
My ankle was in excruciating pain for a little while.
I haven't been stung in a long time because after being stung many times at my grandmother's pool as a child, I have developed a phobia for large flying, or not large, but large bug flying creatures, as everyone here knows. I run away. I'm 6'5". I run away from anything that resembles a wasp or that could threaten me.
Nick is
Unless
a...
it's big enough to be hit with an axe.
That's fair.
I've seen Nicholas run away from a piece of fluff because he thought it was a bee. It was great.
As
I mean, I
someone...
didn't run, I probably flinched, but yeah.
I have to say, Nick, you are lying. You're not afraid of flying insects. You're afraid of every insect, as I have seen.
Well, yeah, it's a phobia.
Right. I was just correcting you.
So I can't really name the last time I got stung because I don't really remember specifically.
Well, there you go. Does anybody care about bee stings, or is this a terrible segment to try and figure out?
I just wanted to put out there.
Mhm.
I've never been stung by a bee, wasp, or hornet in my life.
Lucky.
Yeah.
So take that.
I have 2 hives, and I'm very tempted to drag you out there now.
Cubby, you'd have to drag me out there too. I've never been stung either.
I will douse myself in kerosene
How?
and light myself on fire.
You both live in Maine. How have you never been stung by stinging insects?
Chris,
It's called I've spent a total of 4 hours outside.
Me too.
that the only time that I ever went outside as a child was when my mom forced me to make igloos with her, aka winter. And hence why I hate the cold.
I love the cold.
I got stung really close to one of my eyes, and
Ooh.
like the area around my tear duct kind of filled up, and it was, yeah, very annoying for a while.
Ow. Any eye stuff at all, that messes with me. Whenever, like...
Dude, you want to hear a time that the cat attacked me?
After the bee segment.
Yo, basically...
Fuck the bee segment. Who gives a shit about the bee segment? Did anyone else have
I
anything...
haven't gone yet!
Dude, you were stung like 9 times 2 days ago.
I was stung today, thank you very much.
Oh my god, I'm
Quick-
so surprised.
Quickly give your who gives a shit bee sting segment. If
The worst time I ever got stung by a bee was when my father killed the nest right outside our house before dark, so they weren't in it. And then I ran out the back and got swarmed by yellow jackets, and he wouldn't let me in the house because they were gonna chase me, so I had to run around outside until they left before I could go in the house.
Like Link from Legend of Zelda. You should have done some dodge rolls, dude. Jump in the water.
What water? I live in the woods.
Animal Crossing character.
I wasn't ready for that. I should have shook the tree first.
Okay.
Who's under the deck?
Okay.
Doesn't help if the beehive's on fire.
Turns out the bee segment did have a good ending. That's good to hear.
We got the good
We,
ending.
we got some quality out of it.
Yay.
I was just gonna bring up the time we found a pregnant stray cat and brought it in, and our other cat was very unhappy with that situation. And I was trying to help him feel comfortable. So I was like, hey buddy, let me pet you and put my face very close to your murder hands.
Mm.
He decided that he wanted my eyeball.
Ooh.
And he reached forward and clapped me on the side of the face, like literally on the cheekbone right below my bottom eyelid. And he dug his claw into my face so deep I had to physically pull it out after trying to yank it out with my own face.
Oh dear God.
It kind of dragged him a bit, but it left a hole in my face. It's not there
Youch.
anymore. It healed.
Hoping for a good scar.
But that was cool. Thought you'd like that.
Cats suck. I'm just gonna say it.
Not all cats.
He was a douchebag. There's a reason his name was Pain.
All cats are bastards. All cats are bastards.
He was.
No.
That's a lie. There are three
Categories.
Three categories.
Categories.
Yes, of cats. One of which is what Graden just described. The second is just a lovable cat. Those are very rare. And the third is what I have at
Crackhead.
home. No.
Oh.
Okay, so I guess that's
Dead.
4. Okay.
That's 5.
No, that's good.
No, number 3 is a priss and a half. You won't eat the food that you give her unless you give her the right food. Unless you give her the wet food. It has to be on time. If it's not on time, she won't eat it. You gotta cuddle her the right way. If she doesn't get the arm in the right place, fuck it, fine. I don't want your attention.
You know, if you leave food out for a cat, they'll eat it before they starve to death.
Yeah, that is true. You don't have to feed them on a time schedule.
She makes you.
We're outside.
I do.
She's too.
Yeah,
You can't lift her.
yeah. My cat is not anything like that. It'll come in every 5 days or so, eat 2 bites, and then eat the rest of the dog's food,
Yep.
and then be like, "Get me out of here. I'll see you next week."
Dude, my cat got that same
And
cat got up.
she's 15 or 16 years old.
I got you beat.
Yeah, because you have
Demon cat.
I have a demon cat.
I think
Should I
Cubby just
explain-
lives with monsters in animal form.
Who?
you.
Oh. Should I explain the demon cat?
Yes.
He's 24 years old. He has no tail. He has 1 working eye, 1 ear, and he has 3 teeth left.
Now, where did his tail go?
His tail, he ate his own tail, actually. It got frostbite, and instead of just letting it fall off, he decided to eat it over the course of a month. And he is great because I call him Mr. Kitty. And he's 24 years old and a total of, I think, I want to say 18 pounds.
Is that cat older than all of us?
It is.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, the cat's older than all of us, and he'll probably outlive all of us because he's a bastard and a half.
He'll
What-
do it out of spite.
He will. He's eating weasels and just dropped the carcass half-eaten at our doorstep ha, fuckheads, I ate that.
You can't kill a god.
No, you can't. He's great. Although, I felt bad because I walked out after shooting a deer, and I look out, and he's chewing on the front leg because it was barely within reach, and I'm thinking, on one hand, I'm not worried about losing that meat. On the other, I'm disturbed that he just stretched up 2 feet to eat it.
That's fair.
He's a demon, and I love him, but you don't pet him because then he tries to kill you.
I pet him
How many times?
3 times.
Exactly.
I got my hand away before he took it.
Exactly. 3 to 5 pets is the max, and then he runs after your throat.
I'd like to add, to conclude this conversation, we had categories. I'd like to also add feline factions.
Ooh.
That just came to my head. Well, I just chugged a Pepsi, so I'm gonna go take a leak. I'll be back.
Very helpful, interesting information.
No
Yep.
problem, my dude.
So what's the next conversation?
Great question. I have no goddamn idea, but apparently we're up to 53 minutes, which probably isn't right. But it's fine.
We're at 57 on our
47.
On ours.
I'm sorry.
47.
We need to talk about nerdy things because
We're nerds.
really haven't talked about nerdy things.
Lie.
I mean, we talked about a tiny bit of Left 4 Dead.
Hey, we could talk about
There was
Fallout
a
New Vegas.
there was a sec. All right, you got me going. Okay, I was
Oh,
gonna
gosh.
say we talked about apples for like goddamn 5 minutes. Like nobody gives a shit about that except, but nobody, whatever. What was this about
They
Fallout
keep
New
the
Vegas?
monsters away.
Especially if you check them at their heads.
We were talking about Fallout New Vegas.
Yep.
Yeah.
I love
Anything-
how I can cause silence.
Anything in particular, or is this just a?
This
How
is
much-
debate you.
Yeah, I
This
know.
is debate you, Chris.
This is.
Let's
Chris
talk about the
probably.
lightning.
Chris probably doesn't have ADHD, but let's find out.
Let's talk
Kill
about
his
how
attention
visible it
span.
is outside of buildings. You play some Fallout New Vegas.
I've never watched or played Fallout New Vegas, and I don't know what it is. I
Well,
mean,
I
know
have.
what it is.
I have some good news for you. Go to Alvesie Sprocket on YouTube. That is ALVESIE_SPROCKET.
You practiced that.
No.
Chris?
No?
No.
you
He's just
spell?
a spelling bee champion.
I'm just able to spell my name, the IP that I built with my bare hands. But anyways, if you go there, to that YouTube channel, you'll find 66 episodes of Fallout New Vegas.
Yeah.
68, sorry.
There's
Because-
also a couple good funny clips.
There are also some funny
Okay.
clips. There's a new funny clip going up tomorrow, which is yesterday when you're hearing this.
Ooh.
Yeah.
My brain cannot process what you just said.
I do have a question.
Okay.
Tomorrow was yesterday. Because today is 2 days from now.
Are we gonna talk on this D&D podcast about D&D?
Yeah, the whole second half of this podcast, we talk about the D&D campaign that we've been doing for 2 years.
Oh, cool. I was just wondering.
But
But if
hours of
there's-
D&D, it's just boring.
But if there's something else D&D adjacent that we want to talk about right now real quick, before we move on to that, feel free.
I mean, you could talk about the video game that we all downloaded and never played again.
Oh God.
Us.
No.
Stop. No.
What was it called? Never. No, that's the other one.
Forgotten Realms,
Forgotten Realms.
Dark Alliance.
Dark Alliance. That's it.
Yeah, so this was something that I was excited for because how many of us got this?
I did.
Me.
What was that one that you guys sent in the chat?
I
Oh,
have no clue what you guys are talking about.
It's the D&D video game.
Oh,
I didn't play that.
I was really excited about it
I was
bad.
very excited.
until I played it, and I can't describe. I hope they like made it better, but it was just so bad. Like not like the mechanics and everything. The mechanics I think were cool. But the combat was like, I hate to say this because I know what's gonna happen when I do, but the combat was like chunky.
he's dead.
Yeah.
It's D&D.
No, it's supposed to be like not turn-based. It's supposed to be like real-time combat.
Oh.
But
that's
like
hard with D&D.
it felt like Assassin's Creed 1 mash parry until
Ooh.
you win.
Okay.
That would be not bad because I love Assassin's Creed 1, but the problem is that like it was also like super glitchy and like things weren't timed correctly.
Well, I downloaded this game and have not played it yet because initially I thought the plan was there was a group of 4 of us that were going to play it together and I would record episodes of it then. So I was going to go in blind. So I've just had the game, the $40 taken out of my Steam account, and the game is sitting in my library for about a month now. Just sitting there like, hey, I'm still here. Do you want to play sometime? So we should, even if it is bad, we should still try and record some of that because that might be fun.
I think it'll be better with people
Yeah,
to play with, but
that's what I kind of
I-
figured.
I don't know how much better it's gonna be. Cause like Sea of Thieves isn't a great game, but it is really fun when you play with people.
Right. Yeah, I probably played it most recently because I played it like last week again. I just
Nice.
replayed a level I'd done before. I couldn't tell if they changed anything. I'm not a very good critic of things. I didn't really notice the had. But I was also playing as Brunor, who is kind of supposed to be chunky and slow. So maybe
Yeah.
it's just less noticeable with that.
The problem is I was playing as Dritz, who's supposed to be sleek and fast, and he felt like I was playing like Wolfgar.
So,
Right.
what genre of game is it?
So it's the level design is not great because it's just like hallway to room with enemies.
It's
You beat that hallway to room with enemies, which I loved Diablo 3, but there were like other paths you could take. This one, as far as I got, was just a line.
okay. I was under the impression this game was like a Vermintide or Left 4 Dead style kind of game. Is it a isometric RPG? Is it like a top-down game?
No, it's like behind the back.
Okay.
Um,
Okay.
But yeah, it's kind of like Diablo, but like you have to like accept levels, like
Mhm.
missions and stuff. I don't know. I played it like a month ago, and it left very little impression on me. Well, I'll give it another try. I'm totally down for it.
Yeah, we'll have to do. We'll add it to the list. We got Left 4 Dead and Forgotten Realms on the list.
Dark Alliance, not Forgotten Realms, but yeah.
It takes place in the Forgotten Realms.
Yes, but that's not the name of the game.
We could do some good old fashioned party games.
Yeah.
That would also
I
be
do
good.
have speedrunners on my computer.
Ooh.
One thing I just want to point out before we move on to the next section is when we were looking up Left 4 Dead earlier, I tried to find a picture of the tank to show Cubby, and I don't know if you guys have seen the picture I posted in the Campaign 2 chat, but the Left 4 Dead wiki has a video of what is supposed to be the tank, and it's just the thumbnail is Commander Shepard. So,
Nice.
That's not Left 4 Dead.
yeah, I don't know
If you
what's...
look just below that picture, you'll see a sneak preview for the animations for this episode. Because I drew that while we were talking.
Nick has drawn
Honestly,
4
kind of
stick
impressive.
figures that vaguely look like the Left 4 Dead characters.
Not
Left 4 Dead 2.
really.
They don't.
Not at all.
Well, 2 of them are African American. One has a purple shirt, one has a pink shirt. Then there's one guy with a hat and one guy with a suit. That's the characters.
None of them are smiling.
They're all
None of them are
upset.
They're
smiling
fighting
with the shirt
zombies.
down.
Why would they be happy?
I'd like to bring up Ellis.
Apocalypse.
Yeah, Ellis should be
That's
smiling.
fair.
Ellis is having the time of his life. He's also telling a story about his cousin.
Right.
Coach is listening, but it better be about pancakes.
Pancakes.
The party of adventurers had just dealt with the Zealot, getting information from him that if they go and deal with a priestess of Lolth, they will be able to free their friend Lee from the revenant that was currently chasing him. Our players and characters are...
I'm Cara Woodsman. I'm from the Clan Chow tribe. I didn't know what to do, so I broke into my character voice. On to you,
Okay.
Gene.
Well, thank you for the introduction. My name's Gene from the vast city of Trendan.
And then there's Kalzun, a little late to the party. Just like in the campaign. From, I don't know the name of my clan. Doesn't matter.
I play Mittens, a Tabaxi Divine Soul Sorcerer Noble. Yeah.
I play Philary, a soldier from the muster.
At this point, I'm playing Billy, a warlock from deep in the Fey Reach.
And I am your dungeon master. We also had a couple of other characters along for the ride at this point. The 2 major ones that were still hanging around were, let's see, it was Ruffy Lee Xarcsvoror, the Canii fighter. He was just fighter at this point.
Yep.
As well as Gib'duil, the half-elf cleric. And Equitum, the Asamar Paladin, was around a little bit, but not too much. Anyways,
Right.
I believe at this point you guys had just set off to go deal with the issues in the Underdark back in the Underdark City. And I'm trying to remember how you guys got there.
We found the passageway
Yes, you found the passageway from...
under the column.
Yes, where where you fought the Onkegs. Yes, I remember now.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then there was a cool rock around there too.
That was before, though.
That was with Rodrum.
Yeah, Rojan was alive for the cool rock.
The cool rock, for reference, was a roper. For some reason, I think about that point, maybe it started happening more often a little later. I decided to just use the random encounter list off of Xanathar's guide for the random encounters in the world. If you've never looked at the...
Silver dragons.
Yeah, if you've never looked at the encounter list in Xanathar's guide, there's some weird ones that cause a lot of problems and don't really fit sometimes. But that's perfectly fine, because it makes for weird gags. In worst case scenario, you say, no, that's stupid, and move right along. But yeah, so the party basically made their way back into this subterranean passageway deep through the earth to try and make their way through the Underdark. In doing so, you guys didn't manage to get down there, did you? Or did you? I can't remember.
We made it like part way, and then we came back up, I think.
Yes, you guys were forced back because you were into a lot of dangers. Weird mushrooms, hook horrors, all sorts of evil things waited there for you. Which I believe is what forced you guys to head back down the road. And try and get some more help from the Zealot, either through information or through reinforcements. So then it was along that way that we had the second death?
Yep.
Was that when it happened? Yes.
Yeah,
So...
it was when we were coming back.
The party was making their way down the road when all of a sudden they saw this strange crater appear in the middle of the path in front of them. They tried to investigate, and through some unfortunate dice rolls and the DM being a little too excited to put a new monster into play, they were ambushed by mind flayers. That's right, I said mind flayers, as in plural. I decided, yes, this party of level 4 adventurers, they can face 2 mind flayers. That sounds fine.
Most part, we did great.
I need to admit something to you guys. There was a third Mind Flayer plan for that fight. That once things started going bad, I was like, nope, no, this guy never existed. That's fine. 2 is more than enough, as it turns out.
We weren't even gonna make it a month in that campaign with you running it like that.
With Xanathar's in play.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was a lot of Xanathar's fault. And also trying to balance things on the fly, because at this point we were still in our first couple of sessions where I was realizing things were not working. Things were all over the place and needed to be fixed.
It's a good thing you're a nice person. Otherwise, our campaign would have ended really early.
Well,
Like
yeah.
Gibb's life.
Yeah, so in the fight, a couple of very important things happened. Mind Flayers are able to basically suck the brain and intellect out of their opponents. Which meant that Cara Woodsman, the already not super duper smart Furbolg, had his intelligence lowered even further.
I started that fight with 8, ended it with 6.
Yep. Which was definitely a problem.
I ended it with 5, because I was dumber than Grog.
Yep. This is a problem the party was going to have for a little while. They probably could have fixed it before, but they waited.
We had a better idea.
It's fine. It worked out alright in the end. But
We didn't
unfortunately...
do it for a very specific reason.
Right. And unfortunately, not only was Cara's brain a casualty of the fight, but also Gib'duil was killed in the fighting. By one of the Mind Flayers as well. And even with some... I think you expended your inspiration, Cara?
I expended my inspiration
Yes.
for Cara.
Yes, that's right.
And I still failed.
to try and put one last interception in, but unfortunately was not enough. And now Gib'duil was dead.
Already saved.
Session 4, and I had killed a second player character. A little bit of my mental runnings at this time. I had already been like, oh fuck, oh shit, Rodrim is dead. Oh fuck, oh shit, what's happening to the campaign? Oh, now Gib's dead too. This is a problem. This is a huge problem. They don't have the ability to bring Gib back yet. There are a lot of problems going on, and everything is going to be ruined. And I'll get to how I fix that in a little bit, but because I fixed it. I did it. Believe it or not. It may sound like I'm a terrible DM, but I did turn this around. And the answer is kind of weird. But anyways. At this point, the party, with another friend dead, realize they can probably bring this friend back. Maybe the zealot who they were already on their way to go talk to could do it. If not, they had a couple of other ideas waiting in the wings.
Lower moral ideas.
Right. This brings us back to the zealot and specifically some of the other rules I had in this campaign. Basically, the rules I had set for resurrection was not a... I know a lot of DMs like to do like sometimes a saving throw versus being brought back from the dead, or specific limitations on bringing people back from the dead aside from the normal rules in place.
Or just outright banning it.
Right. I didn't have any of that specifically. There were penalties as far as corruption goes for it, but the biggest thing was just the idea that by bringing someone back, you're using a very powerful magic spell. Not just because of the level of the spell, but also because it's bringing someone's soul back from wherever it went to the material plane again, to the body. So it messes with this whole fake corruption thing and means that you can only do certain resurrections in certain places. And other people see it as immoral outright because you're saving a single person's life instead of working for the greater good. Which means when the party went to the zealot, who was already not a very nice dude and not a fan of them, he outright refused them and said, no, I'm not bringing your friend back. Which means they had to go to sources that were more lenient about magics that were, more Fey-based. Which meant it was time to go and visit the Crancher tribe, Cara's people.
Hello.
That's when the party decided to set out and head in that direction. Who knows how they would deal with Lee's Revenant? Who knows how they would deal with other problems they were having? This was the main thing at hand.
I have a question.
Yes.
I remember a specific magic item that Jean acquired early in the campaign and then got rid of sometime after the Crancher.
Okay. And what was that item?
The sword he had?
Oh, the Sword of Vengeance?
Yeah, that one.
Yes. What about that one?
Get that. And also... No, that's it. Where did I get that? Because that actually does come up with some stuff for Jean. You edited this part out. I was just thinking because,
Well, I think it actually fits in right about here because there were two main things that happened before you guys really reached the Crancher. Which was, I think this item came up when you guys were making your way towards the Crancher. You ended up going south past a lot more of the Eternal Ward itself. And you met with two people in particular. A dwarven monk named Tips and a turtle named Turtle. And they were close to a couple of giants with a sack of magic items. I'm pretty sure that sack of magic items had multiple things that you guys ended up using. That sack of magic items, I believe, had that sword. I believe it also had the dust of sneezing and choking in it, which is the fake dust of disappearance. So it was a troll bag of magic items, come to think of it.
And I still didn't make friends with the giants.
Nope. But the other thing that happened before you guys got to the Crancher, And the reason why this strange dwarf and turtle appeared in the middle of nowhere is, Billy. Billy ran into some trouble while staying over in, Warderreach, where you guys were currently visiting the Zealot and figuring out where to go. Would you like to explain yourself, Billy?
Well, the party was going to be arrested, so I tried to act to stop that because I don't remember the specifics. I don't know why they were being arrested. I remember I fired Eldritch Blast to try to disarm someone, and eventually got caught. And for some reason, instead of letting us go to trial, the 3 super high charisma characters, Philary decided that instead I'll just have a tracker put in me and will be sent to kill some Fey people, which Billy was not up for doing. So I could not go with the party when they went to revive Gib. Billy rather, stayed in Wardreach in an inn.
Would anyone like to add to that little scenario? What they remember of the that whole event?
All I remember was that one NPC who was faking Bill being hurt after we healed him
You do remember
for
him?
more money
Yep.
and paid time off.
It was one of the dudes that Billy blind fired.
Yeah. I remember being very chaotic, and I don't remember why it happened.
Because you tried to blind fire because you were like, well,
No,
technically, Eldritch Blast does not require you to see the target.
Yes, I know that, and I've used that still. I don't remember why I decided that in the first place. I don't remember what you guys did that had you... That's what I'm talking about.
I jumped out of a building,
Mm-hmm.
and then I broke free of the shackles that they made me wear.
Yep.
The Revenant. That's what it was.
I was related to, since I was somewhat fey, they told me I had to wear shackles while within the city. And I let them put them on me. It's just I was a very strong individual, so when it came time that there was a fighting outbreak, I just kind of let my arms go and the shackles broke. And then I jumped out of the side of a building to get to the fight quicker.
Yes, the fight was the Revenant. The Revenant came back.
That's
That's
right.
when we did the flip. And then
Yeah.
Billy tried firing into the crowd.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh, he fired into the crowd, into a few people into the crowd.
Mm-hmm.
I only hurt one person. I think I killed them. And that's because I didn't have Spell Sniper yet.
Yes.
And it was a rogue. The Revenant taken the form of a rogue and was hiding in the crowd, so none of us could do anything. Except for me. So I
Right.
took the shot, and it missed.
Yeah.
And you killed the guy.
Yeah. Too bad. How many people have you killed, Cara?
Let's not get over that.
Get out my book.
That's a long list that we don't need to cover right now. But yeah, basically, Billy had accidentally committed murder and was going to have to do something to take care of it.
I do want to point out that's a theme that will be repeating.
Yeah, of course. But this meant that Billy had to stay behind, and Philary, both because Taylor had to leave for a little bit and because it made sense for Philary to make sure he didn't do anything stupid, stayed in Wardreach with him. Which means we were going forward with no Billy, Gib dead, Rodrum dead, which means it was a very strange crew making their way over towards the Crancher tribe. That consisted basically of Jean, Cara, Mittens, and Lee as the only remaining party members, joined by the Turtle and Tips, the drunken dwarf. You guys basically traveled through some random encounters. There was a weird, strange, undead necromantic tower that had weird gravity to it. There was some skeletons digging it up. But ignoring all that, you guys eventually made your way to the Crancher tribe.
Yo, is that when we met Maximilian? What?
No, Maximilian is in the southern area, I believe.
Right.
I do not remember Maximilian, but okay.
He's referring to Kobold Chess.
Oh. That
The
was
leader of it was named Maximilian.
that was way earlier, I'm pretty sure. But
That was like when we left Gale Peak.
Yeah.
Oh.
we skipped over
I
that.
still have it written down that we need to go back there.
But yeah, so you guys went to the Craniture tribe, which is the hometown of Cara. This was a weird section because at this point in the campaign, I didn't expect you guys to be going there that early. So I didn't have that much prepared for it. Cubby, did you have anything like in mind for when this actually happened, or were you
I
pretty
did.
much? Continue.
I actually did, and I actually had a whole like hierarchy of stuff made, and we just never talked about it because, like you, I wasn't expecting to, go back in session 4. So when you started talking about it, I'm just like, I'm just gonna put these notes deep in my bag,
Yeah.
and let Chris do his thing.
Yeah, it was one of those situations where, in a new campaign, details on some backstory stuff hadn't quite been ironed out, but unfortunately they were called upon way earlier than anyone could have expected. But that happens sometimes, and it's fine. So basically, a lot of the Craniture was improv'd in that moment, which is, it was basically this very hulking society of very imposing figures. And it was kind of hinted at that Cara was something of a runt of the litter in some capacity.
Yep.
I don't know whether or not that was actually ever factually accurate, but it was a theme that existed.
I noticed. I was very confused because I was at the top, but then I was like, you know what? I'm okay with it. It's
Yeah.
all right. I'll grow. I'm still a growing boy.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So basically, the party had to step into a pit, listen to some poorly conceived Scottish Celtic accents, and
Hey, it was pretty good. Also, you're forgetting when we got kidnapped.
you were kidnapped. You were kidnapped by them. Yeah. The party didn't like arrive there in normal means. They were, of course, kidnapped by them and dragged into the village. Because
Well, I wasn't.
yeah, Cara
I
wasn't.
walked alongside my brothers, and they're just sitting there tied up. I'm just like, this is okay. We'll just go back to home.
Yep. With your friends in, rope over their shoulders. They were probably going to eat one of... I think that was the original joke, was that they were going to eat some of you, like the Ewoks.
Hey, I'm sorry, but I'd be okay with that.
I'm pretty sure.
Cara's eating some weird shit. It wouldn't surprise me.
I'm pretty sure when I was playing as Tips at that point.
Yes.
And I'm pretty sure I, being a drunken master dwarf, pretended to be, like knocked out from drinking as they dragged me. So I was just pretending to be unconscious.
But yeah, so you guys went into the Craniture tribe. Not exactly of your own volition. And stepped into the pit. Which was basically this massive... Initially, it seemed to be nothing, an inert circle of stones. But once you guys stepped inside of it, this mass...
Is this when you came up with a pit?
Yes, right there on the spot.
Pit that is still being used at level 20.
Yep. It's basically this massive, writhing mess of roots and or tentacles or vines. It's hard to tell what it is exactly, but like reaching in and through the bodies of anything and anyone that enters it. Believe it or not, it is an influence of the Fae. So, all these non-Fae people stepping into it, that was kind of not good for their health. The idea was basically that they were going to have to stand in the pit long enough to survive and prove themselves to the chieftain. I believe Cara talked the chieftain down at least partially.
Yep.
Yes, which meant that you guys weren't...
My whole 8 charisma, and I'm just like, hey, that'll not that bad.
Yeah. So your lives were spared, and the offer of a reincarnation of Gib'duil was made. Unfortunately, the rules of reincarnate in this world is, or at the very least in this circumstance, was in order to bring someone back from the dead, someone else has to give their life away to bring them back.
Can I explain the comedic irony in this situation?
Of course, please do.
So the player who was playing Gib'duil was one of our friends who was in the group.
DJ, DJ might actually be on next episode. We don't know for sure yet, but you might hear from him next episode.
Okay. So he was playing Gib'duil, but since Gib'duil had died, he still needed a character to play. The aforementioned Tortle, named Tortle, or Portal, or Zordle, or in the end, Portal.
It was Nordle.
No, he came full circle to Tortle.
Yeah.
He was Portal
was
for a
also
while.
played by one Mr. DJ. And it was very convenient that Tortle was so willing to sacrifice his life for this mysterious individual he's never met before. For some odd reason.
It also helps that Portal was 39 years old, and if you know D&D facts, that's 1 year away from Tortle's maximum lifespan.
Yes, it is.
I
The
thought
point
that
I'm hitting at is
Yeah.
there may or may not have been some connection of the player using one of his characters as a token to get his other character back.
Yes. And it's kind of interesting because in a lot of ways it's probably for the best, because when I initially was thinking about this, I was like, okay, it's probably going to be a 2 birds with 1 stone situation, because I know that Adam was getting kind of tired of Mittens, so maybe he'd sacrifice himself. Lee is getting hunted by the Revenant. Maybe he'd sacrifice himself. Cara might sacrifice his life for his best friend. Tips was the only one I wasn't expecting to give his life. And then I'm forgetting about Jean.
Hello.
Jean would probably, maybe, be willing to give up his own life for one of his friends.
At this current point, no, as he was under the influence of a magic item.
That's true.
And after being harassed by all the Cranshore, was not doing very good.
Yeah, that's fair.
With some lucky wisdom saves, he was so far managing to not go insane.
Yeah, that's kind of what I pictured going in, was one of these characters, are they going to give their lives to bring Gib back? You know, important characters that nowadays, if that had happened to Lee or Cara, can you imagine how different the campaign would be?
We'd all be dead.
Yeah.
Yeah. Lee and Cara are huge pieces to our success.
Cara for taking the hits, Lee for giving them.
Hmm.
Well, until he became outclassed by the superior tank in the party.
Okay, yes, they can't hit you. With me, guess what? They're still saves.
I can counterspell most things.
Did I hear counterspell? I can do counterspell. That's pretty much all Billy's got.
Ugh.
Counterspell. Oh yeah, fair enough. He can punch good though. And
Also,
against
I did
those
not know Tips was
skeletons
dwarven.
earlier.
I
Yeah.
played Tips
Yeah, they're all dwarves.
during the
Yeah.
under
So if you're playing a character made by Nick that's named after meat, it's
Beef
a dwarf.
specifically, a beef product, not
Beef,
just meat.
My bad. Because hammy is
Sirloin.
Yep, Sirloin was a dwarven paladin. Stu was a dwarven warlock. Tips was a
Either way.
dwarven monk.
Although there's Baloney, who you still have to make.
He's gonna be a human wizard.
Point is, with the sacrifice of Tortle, Gib'duil was brought back anew
as
as a gnome.
Yes, this is a good story. So,
Cara
There-
was very excited
And I
about.
think that's where we ended the session.
yes, that's where
And
we
then
ended.
between sessions, the shenanigans happened.
Right, so a couple of clarifying things is that you guys didn't quite end the session there. You guys actually ended the session with using the stone to teleport yourselves into the Underdark.
Right. Oh yeah.
Because,
That fun fight.
yeah, there was a little bit more to that. Basically, there was probably 3 hours of gameplay as Gib the Gnome, where you guys use this teleporty stone that the Mind Flayers left behind to transport yourself to a random spot in the Underdark that you learned about when you attuned to the stone. When you transported there, you were immediately met with an Undergiant, this massive, hulking, strange form. That also...
I would dream well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the Undergiant was exceptionally good at killing Drow for whatever reason. So Jean was in a lot of trouble in this fight, but you guys barely managed to fight it off,
Yes.
and that's where we
very
ended the session.
specifically.
Yeah.
With I believe Jean went unconscious and also failed the wisdom save for the sword.
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh
the
no.
Sword of Vengeance.
Mm,
But he went unconscious before anything happened.
right.
Because, Undergiants.
Yes.
Yeah. They see a drow and they go, "Your ass in particular, I'm gonna eat."
No, I seem to remember him clubbing me against a wall.
Yes. That sounds
Kind of
familiar.
made me a
Yeah, there's a lot of
skater.
that.
I think this is the point where things got kind of weird and screwy with the schedule. If I remember correctly, this was like the last session we did for a little while. We took a bit of a break because in all of my panicking, I was like, I don't know where the campaign is going. I need to figure out a way to tie it all together. I need to figure out how to do this. So I asked the group if we could take a couple of weeks off for me to figure this out. We were going to do another campaign in the meantime, but we don't need to bring that up.
Cubby.
And
You just said don't bring it up.
yeah,
I didn't bring anything up.
No, Nick did.
Oh,
I was just saying Cubby's name. What's that supposed to be in reference to?
I just casted a looks at someone.
Yeah.
Yeah, Taylor.
Yeah.
Anyways, I wanted to get to the text thread that happened immediately after that session. Like, I think a couple of hours after that session finished, the text thread that I had with DJ. I think I can still find it. Let me see if I can find it real quick. Go ahead and, if there's anything else you guys want to discuss with that, go ahead.
I missed all of that.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So did I.
Yeah.
Good job, Graden.
Shut you guys up.
I was looking to find the discussion I had with DJ about the race situation. Getting turned into a gnome situation, so I asked you guys to fill the time, but I found it anyway. This is the exact text thread that I had with DJ. He tells me, "Is it too late to plead with you on my race? I really don't want to be a gnome. In my opinion, it's the least cool, which completely goes against the rule of cool. I would be okay with literally any other race. I just feel like a tiny, slow gnome cleric with a shield and mace. The same size as he is just doesn't work. That being said, I acknowledge and accept that you are the DM and your decision is final, and I will abide by your bidding with no harsh feelings." I then made an entire table to replace the regular reincarnation table to include more races. And I rolled 2 options. Tiefling or Furbolg. I said, just rolled. It's either Tiefling or Furbolg. Pick your poison. He said, "Can Tieflings be clerics? Question mark, question mark." I said, "Yup." He said, "I just feel like that's contradictory because they're like part demon or something, right?" I said, "No, curses are a thing. You asked for a new race, there you go." He then says, "It was just purely curiosity. I don't know anything about tieflings. Thank you, though. Seriously, you're the best." Then later on, he texts me back, "I choose Furbolg. Thanks so much." He did not want to play a gnome. He did not want to play a gnome at all. Thus creating the plot hook that is the reincarnation always brings people back as Furbolgs. That was created entirely off of that because I was like, well, if he chose Furbolg, then it makes sense that the Furbolgs can only bring back people as Furbolgs because, Fae stuff getting involved, etc.
There's reincarnation, and then there's Crancher reincarnation.
Right.
Reincarnation is just, yeah, we roll on a table. Crancher reincarnation is, no, you're a Furbolg now. You're gonna deal with it, and you're gonna love it.
I just love the idea of the fact that he was so against playing a gnome is just so funny to me because it's not like gnomes are underpowered or anything.
They're very powerful.
He just hated the idea of being a gnome, which is understandable. Like, there are some races in D&D that obviously a lot of people don't like to play as for whatever reason. It's just the vehement hate of gnomes.
It was very good.
Yeah. Anyways.
Even though he was puntable size at that point, so if we needed distance healing, we could just throw him to each other.
Yeah.
Are gnomes really that bad?
No,
No, they're
really
great.
No,
strong.
they're very good.
He just hates them as a race.
Yeah.
I think it's just because he didn't like the picture in the
Yes.
player's handbook.
He
That was
Yeah,
the
that's
only reason he
specifically what he
had.
didn't like.
he absolutely hated
It's
that
like-
picture.
They look so stupid and lame.
Yeah, they do.
They really do. I got to agree with them.
Yeah,
But-
that's understandable.
Halfling.
Gnomes don't look cool. That is not the point of a gnome. The point of a gnome is to be a smart little shit. And
He's right, you know.
Yep.
Smart little shit.
yeah,
And then you just shit.
Mm,
not chit. Chit is a whole different thing.
Okay,
We're not getting into shit.
yeah.
We will soon.
Are you talking shit?
Anyways,
I almost killed shit.
with a couple of weeks to figure out things about the campaign, I was deviously, feverishly, over like a vacation that my family and I took, thinking like, how do I fix this? How do I bring everything together? And I realized the big problem with the campaign, which is there was so much of a focus on trying to explore things as characters that I was pushing too much towards characters' backstories right away, and it was relying on these new characters, like bringing their stuff to the forefront way too early. I was like, I need plot. I need a character that can provide so much plot. You can't even fit all this plot in whatever big storage container you prefer. And that's when a certain NPC was created that we'll get to maybe in this episode. I'm curious to see what your guys' guesses are, but anyways. Actually, I want to hear your guesses now.
Wild Song.
I agree.
mm.
L tier.
Zelothere.
Zelothere
Oh, yeah,
already
it's
existed at
Zelothere.
this point.
I forgot Wild Song existed.
My guess is Bracerius.
I think Versarius came in a little later.
I don't like Bracerius.
Song.
Well,
Yeah.
We saw. We
mean-
don't. We didn't know he was a Mega Death Boy. At that
Also-
point.
Technically not a character created by Chris. Well, concept-wise, I believe.
Yeah, no, Bracerius was written into Equitum's backstory.
I just thought, like, we were going more along the lines of adding the backstory.
No,
Yeah,
this was...
yeah.
I realized I need to create a character that was independent of anybody else's story to help create story.
Horo.
Turo? That's a choice.
Are you gonna tell us? Or are you gonna tell us later?
I'm going to tell you later.
So.
Yeah, that's
Alright.
fair. Anyways, you guys, having arrived in the Underdark, after having just killed the giant, your adrenaline's still slowing down, met your first...
My heartbeat's still slowing
Yeah.
down.
Met the first friendly NPC that wasn't meant to be longtime companion. The first NPC that was just supposed to, like, hang out and not be a douche to you guys. In Gunner. Gunner.
Oh.
Gunner was a Dwergar. Gunner's not the NPC that I created for this. Gunner had already existed. Gunner existed session 1 in my head. But basically, Gunner is this Dwergar runesmith. He uses a lot of runic magics as opposed to normal spellcasting. Which is something I was playing around with making pre Eberron and Artificer. Before Artificer really came out. Because in the break between the last session and where this picked up, Eberron was finally released at like the right before this started back up again, which is important. That's important timeline wise, for a couple of things. But basically, the party met with this Gunner character, and he explained to him the situation down there in the Underdark. That they were basically slaves to this Undergiant, and he actually knew where the Drow priestess was hiding out. He offered to lead them there because they, saved him from slavery, and so as they worked together, they formed a bit of a friendship. In the meantime, Philary and Billy received a strange letter saying that their issues in Waterreach were taken care of and that they could leave. So they headed north as well. So as the party approached the Underdark City and kind of got ready to assault the drow there, Gunnar was like, hey, I have this cool hammer that can send you guys back up to the surface. If you need to reunite with anybody, figure anything out, this is your, ticket up there. So you guys used it. And I believe this was the point that Mittens decided to leave. Am I right in remembering it that way?
It was when we came back up from the Underdark, yeah.
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 Yeah, as soon as we got out of the Underdark after the break. Yeah.
Yeah, so do you want to talk about, part of the character decision as... both the character decision as Mittens and your decision as a player that sent Mittens away?
Sure. First of all, Mittens, I deemed that as a noble, he found out that adventuring was nowhere near what he wanted to do, and just the horrifying things that he's seen so far in the journey, including a guy being turned to sticks, a guy being killed and turned into a furbolg, and just all the other Underdark horrors and everything scarred him, and he wanted nothing to do with adventuring, so he pulled a sending stone out of his tie and pretty much called his parents for help and was on his way. As a player, since Mittens was very rushed, I had nothing for him, and at the moment, in the time I had, I couldn't really think of a good addition to the backstory to make him interesting enough for me to want to keep playing with him. And also, in the rules of the world, corruption does not increase from warlocks and clerics, also paladins. And he was a divine soul sorcerer, so he was a healer who gained a lot of corruption, and his build was really not working out right. So those are the reasons I decided to change out from him. Also, Artificer looked really, really cool, and I wanted to play one
Yeah.
ASAP.
Yeah.
Nice. The truth comes out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so as I said, it was about this point, right before we started back up, that Eberron was released, which, with it came Artificer, the first new class to 5th edition. And so I think pretty much that whole time, Adam was, in contact with me a little bit about me, taking Mittens out of the campaign and coming up with his new character, who pretty much shows up immediately once Mittens went away, right? I think it was when the party stopped back into town that they met the new addition to the team, Arlen Renan Craftswin, aka Ark.
Yep. It was on the road Mittens left, and in the tavern that they were meeting up with, Ark showed up.
Yes. And do you want to talk a little bit about your ideas in making Ark?
Sure, I mean, there's a bit to him. So, I thought since the world concept was, this, dangerous world, I thought that it would be okay to do something with that. And I want to bring out a reference from our old campaign, which was a goblin-created battle drill and was one of my highlights of the campaign. And I just wanted to make a very edgy character who disguised up, only for that big reveal to come out is what he was building up to as his backstory.
Yeah.
So pretty much I made an edgy character with being edgy as a front to sneak in a funny thing.
And also it was, I think Ark was the first character that they really had a lot of experience with that had a much more negative connotation of the Fae and Fae adjacent creatures compared to everyone else they had met so far. Ark was going to be a little cagey about why for a little while still, but Ark was not a fan of Cara. He was not a fan of Billy. Yeah, it was very interesting to see the contrast between the party, which had basically been, these Fae people are fine, and Ark coming along and being like, no, these Fae people are not allowed. Ark also has one of the best voices in the campaign, beaten probably only by Lee's voice, in my opinion at least.
Yeah, it kind of sounds like this. That's it. He's kind of loopy.
It's I think it's the fact that it's so deadpan with...
Everything Ark says is beautifully deadpan.
Yeah, it is.
He says the funniest things without it being funny, and that's what makes it funny.
The lack of emotion is what gives it the heart that just propels it forward.
I think it's funny that there's only 3 people that have voices.
Yep.
And Cara's at the bottom with his broken Scottish Celtic.
Okay, I got my accent off of Robin Williams, so
That's fair. But yeah, so Ark had joined the party, and also, behind the scenes, Jake had just joined us. He had finally shown up to the table for, like, an official session. So while Billy was back, Jake took over playing as Tips for the interim. But yeah, so in finally bringing the band all together, the Legion set off into the Underdark, and through a whole lot of chaos, a whole lot of accidentally getting kidnapped and punched in the street, to throwing the ancient powerful priestess off of the roof of the church and belly flopping her once, twice, 3 times.
The small drow boy was used as a thrown weapon.
Yes. And also,
explain that better.
what else is there to say? You guys threw the drow priestess off of the roof and then belly flopped her 3 times.
Cara elbow dropped Cara belly flopped. Gib threw Jean onto the priestess, and then when Gib realized that the priestess was not yet dead, proceeded to elbow drop the priestess from the 2nd story, thus ending her life.
I love that the idea is throw her off. She's still, and while she's falling, jump with her. And then Gibbs' idea was, I don't want to take damage. Jean, come here. Chucks. And then now she's still alive. Shit, now I've got to do it.
By technicality, would that be Jean's first kill? Or Gibbs'
No,
first
because
kill?
Gib performed the
Or
final
Gibbs'
hit,
first.
and also Jean was a weapon.
I meant if Jean killed, or like the damage from Jean killed the
I don't think
priestess.
Jean did very much damage because he weighs all of 130 pounds. So I think it was like 2d6 max. Cara did like 3d8 or something.
I did a good amount because I was like 400 pounds.
Cara's fat.
It's just a little bit heavy. That's okay.
Sorry for getting us off topic.
No, that's all right.
No, that's fine.
That's the whole idea.
Yeah.
And let's see what else happened. Philary got levitated, which was annoying for the melee barbarian.
That was...
It was great,
Yeah.
but terrible because we've all been, or a couple of us have been there.
I don't know what you're talking about.
She threw her whole arsenal.
At
Yep.
this one dude.
Yeah,
and
that
missed
happened.
all of them.
This is when Lee got pulled away by the Revenant and beat up.
I already mentioned
we were
that.
all totally
Alright.
hide from the priestess and her cronies. And when we all looked around, we realized that there is no Dogman with us because he's being choked and dragged away while being pummeled in the face by our revenant.
And instead of stealthily going after him, we're just like, no, fuck this shit.
I think we just ran after him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we just ran.
Billy crawled on the ground along with a drow while trying to shoot him in the face.
I wasn't crawling. I fell off the roof and landed onto him because I knew he was there.
Mhm.
And then since we were both prone, I was attacking a creature within 5 feet of me. with a ranged attack, so I had disadvantage. But I was attacking a prone creature within 5 feet of it, so I had advantage. So it was just a normal roll over and over, trying to shoot this drow in the back of the head while laying on top of him.
Yes.
Brilliant.
But yeah, so through an absolute clusterfuck, the party actually managed to defeat the priestess. The collector essences needed, so they could finally return to the zealot and help their friend Lee. This was not going to hold up. This was not going to hold up at all. There were going to be more problems that, well, in hindsight made this whole thing kind of fruitless. But we'll save that for next time, I think, because we're past the 2-hour mark at this point.
One more thing.
Of course.
I'm pretty sure the art joining happened after that, because I remember him going up to the party while they had all their loot from that, and they
Taking-
just kind of offered one to him.
Yes, that's right. Okay. Yeah, I got that mixed up. So Mittens was there from the final fight. Ark was not. They were going to meet Ark when they left.
Either way, the circumstances were exactly the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah. I think that is most certainly enough for this episode, guys.
Cool.
Yay!
So,
Ooh, we did it.
yeah, we did it. We got to do
I don't know
plugs.
if that was more or less on topic than the first one.
Oh, I mean, the first part was absolutely way more off topic. There was no topic. It was just tangent upon tangent upon tangent.
But you know what that's called? That's called a good time.
Called a podcast.
Well, there we go. That's called a podcast. Thank you all so much for watching this. Not watching this, for listening to this. If you're watching this, then congratulations.
Get out of our house.
You're either watching us in our house, in which case get out, or you're watching this on YouTube, which means congratulations, Nick, on speeding it the hell up, or you
I got
have
one episode done.
or you have pierced the veil and are able to see audio formats with your eyes. So, that's impressive.
I'm just saying, if you're in my house, run.
What if they just want waffle fries?
I don't have waffle fries. Run.
Oh.
Thank you so much for listening to Gwellentia Gathers today. My name is Chris or Alvesie. You can find me at Alvesie_Sprocket on YouTube. That is ALVESIE_SPROCKET. The underscore is the little line at the bottom. You're welcome. I'm also on Twitter as the same name, where I announce this podcast and also other videos occasionally when I remember. And I'm also on Twitch, but I don't do anything on there because my internet's terrible. So yeah.
Good job, Nick.
Woo.
Nick, your plug is next.
I mean, he doesn't have
Oh.
anything to plug, so.
Yeah, no, I have nothing. I did the animations. That is the extent of my artistic capability. Yeah.
I
This
will.
episode will have a cool picture of the crew of Left 4 Dead 2 and a tank.
Mhm.
That's what I've got so far.
I will do the plug for Nick because he has nothing else to plug. I'll plug something else. If you enjoy the video format of YouTube Poops, I highly recommend you watch Peter Man 1 by Jimmy Davis, I think is the guy who made it. Because it's an absolute brilliant masterpiece. And if you skip to about 18 minutes in, the next minute or so is just my brain activity. So you're welcome in advance.
I mean, I still don't got anything.
When did you sound from Florida?
Huh?
You sounded like you were from Florida.
I talk as if I have 3 brain cells because I have 3 brain cells.
Yeah, like 2.5.
Listen, that's still 4 times as many as you got.
I never said it wasn't.
Do the math on that one because I can't. I mean, I do a podcast. Tuesday nights. You can find it on where is it again?
we are
Anchor,
we are currently
Spotify.
on Anchor, Spotify, I have the whole list right here. Yeah, so it's Anchor, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Radio Public, Breaker, and Pocket Casts.
I think you forgot one.
And YouTube, eventually.
And where can they find it on YouTube?
At youtube.com. Go ahead and search up ALVESIE_SPROCKET. That'll bring up my channel. But I think Gwellentia Gathers probably brings it up as well at this point, once it's up there.
And that's where you'll find me.
Yes. You can also find him in the upcoming Left 4 Dead and Dark Alliance stuff, if that comes out.
Eventually.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully.
In 2 years, when
Yeah.
the game is no longer relevant.
Right.
I mean, neither one are relevant anymore, so.
Taylor, it's your turn.
What?
It's your
Plugs.
turn. Where can people find you?
Nowhere, honestly. On the floor in this house, half taking a nap. Because it is too late and I need to wake up at 7 tomorrow. Yay.
Woo!
Great input.
Thank you.
I'm a man of many names, and I'm not gonna say any of them.
Perfect.
Beautiful.
Makes sense.
I have basically nothing. I also have a Twitter, but
That's nothing.
nothing. PlayStation Network is probably your best bet. Jake of Geico, but the O and of is a 0. And yeah, that is all.
Yeah. At this point, I have nothing, but I think I'm making an Instagram just for this tomorrow. So I'm joining the 21st century. I know, it's weird. Jake just jumped out of his seat. Also,
Applause.
you could find my iFunny. If you do,
I'm
I laugh, and I'm sorry. I will not tell you the name for it. All I'll say is the picture is a cat drinking out of a toilet. And if you find that, I apologize. So,
called a
Yeah.
scavenger hunt. Maybe there's a reward.
it's
Maybe
not
it
a,
won't be worth it if you find what's on it.
it's not a reward. It's a curse.
Who knows?
It's iFunny. It's a curse.
Listen, we played D&D. Roll the dice. Take a look. See if you can find it. Maybe the real iFunny is the friends you made along the way.
If you find it, private message me, and we'll have a good laugh if we have same tastes.
And if you won't, well, you're probably not going to listen to this podcast again. But that's okay. You made it this far. You get that. How do we end a podcast? I've never thought
You
about...
press the end button.
You say good night, New York.
Podcast.
We're not in New York.
Stay classy, San Diego.
Which... Is that this button?
Auf Wiedersehen.
I think it's
Cheers.
this... I think it's this button. There.
Good night.
Bye.
Nope, that's the wrong
Don't
button.
smoke.
Oh,
Oh.
well, I guess we got to podcast a little
Don't
longer.
stay in school and do drugs, kids. Got that.
Stay in school if you want. Who cares? Good night.